Luna Lovegood is one of the most fascinating characters in Harry Potter. What makes her stand out even more is how perfectly the actress captured her essence, just as she was described in the books. She's kind, brave, and unique, with an eccentric charm that sets her apart. Probably the strangest character in the entire series. She spoke at odd moments, believed in things others dismissed as nonsense, wore bizarre outfits, and had a peculiar way of talking. But why was she so unusual? What lay behind her dreamy kindness? Luna's past holds secrets that shaped her in ways few realize. Luna was a proud Ravenclaw, which meant she was highly intelligent. Some even argue she would have fit in Gryffindor given her bravery. A year younger than Harry, she met him, Ron, and Hermione only in her 4th year. At first, her classmates mocked her for her odd appearance, strange speech, and distant demeanor. But as the battle against Voldemort unfolded, Luna proved her courage and brilliance, earning everyone's respect. She fought Death Eaters, hunted Horcruxes, and stood with Dumbledore's army against the Dark Lord. After the war, she married and became a renowned magizoologist, traveling the world to study magical creatures and discovering entirely new species. Her unusual nature was deeply rooted in her past. Luna's parents, Xenophilius and Pandora Lovegood, were anything but ordinary. Her mother, a gifted witch, loved experimenting with spells. But one of her experiments went horribly wrong. She died right before 9-year-old Luna's eyes. This tragedy left a mark on the little girl. She withdrew into herself, finding solace in fantasy and the unseen. Her father, equally eccentric, adored her. After losing his wife, he poured all his love into Luna, shielding her from reality with whimsical stories and magical ideas. He raised her in a world where the impossible seemed possible, where creatures others dismissed as myths were real. Luna's oddities had clear reasons. Her unique fashion sense mirrored her father's. Her detachment came from being raised in a bubble of imagination, a way to escape the grief of losing her mother. The quiet sadness beneath her dreamy exterior was a wound from childhood that never fully healed. But despite, or maybe because of, her quirks, Luna is one of the most beloved characters. She carried pain, yet remained strong, kind, and compassionate. Not just to people, but to all living beings. What do you think of Luna Lovegood? Luna Lovegood was never just another student at Hogwarts. She existed on the edges of the world most people saw, drifting through the castle halls like a ghost of some long-forgotten magic. Other students whispered about her behind her back, calling her Loony Lovegood, hiding her things, laughing at her peculiar habits. But Luna never seemed to mind. She would tilt her head, give them a curious look, and carry on as if their words were nothing more than a light breeze against her skin. Perhaps that was the most unsettling thing about her. Nothing seemed to truly shake her. She never lashed out, never tried to defend herself, never even seemed hurt by the constant teasing. Instead, she would smile as if she knew something they didn't, as if their mockery was a joke she wasn't in on but still found amusing in some quiet, secret way. But Luna did feel things deeply. She just experienced the world differently. While others were rooted in what was tangible, what was real, Luna lived in the space in between. She believed in things unseen, creatures no one else acknowledged, ideas that most would scoff at. To her, the world was filled with endless wonder, and if others couldn't see it, that was their loss. This belief, this unwavering faith in the unseen, was perhaps why she was never truly alone. Even when people avoided her, even when they dismissed her stories as nonsense, Luna always had company. She had the stars, the wind, the whispers of ancient magic woven into the very walls of Hogwarts. She had the thestrals, silent, skeletal creatures that only those touched by death could see. She never understood why so few others could see them. To her they were beautiful, gentle, honest in a way most people weren't. Harry had been the first person she met who saw them too. She had been sitting in the carriage, absently stroking the air where one of the thestrals stood, when Harry hesitated before getting in. He had seen them. He had understood. Luna had given him one of her slow, knowing smiles, as if they had shared some unspoken truth. It was the beginning of a quiet but deep connection between them. Luna never tried to change to fit in. Unlike so many others at Hogwarts who desperately wanted to belong, to be accepted, Luna simply existed as she was, unapologetically herself. She wore radish earrings, read the Quibbler upside down, and talked about Nargles as if they were as real as dragons. But despite her strangeness, or perhaps because of it, she saw people in a way that others didn't. She saw past the walls they built around themselves. She saw the loneliness in Harry's eyes, even when he didn't speak of it. She saw the self-doubt in Hermione, the fear in Ron, the sadness in Neville. She never called them out on it, never made them feel uncomfortable. Instead, she offered quiet reassurances in the strangest of ways. A simple, "You're just as sane as I am," could mean everything when it came from Luna. Her kindness wasn't loud or grand. She never sought attention for it. It was in the way she spoke to others, the way she listened without judgment, the way she believed in people, even when they didn't believe in themselves. During the darkest days of the war, Luna's presence was a quiet light. She never lost hope, not even when she was taken by the Death Eaters, held captive in the dungeons of Malfoy Manor. Others might have broken, they might have despaired. But Luna remained steady. Even in chains, she was still Luna, calm, composed, unshaken. Ollivander, who had been imprisoned with her, would later speak of her with admiration. How she had comforted him, spoken of the stars, of the beauty still left in the world beyond those dark walls. How she had given him hope when he had almost lost it. After the war, Luna's life took her far beyond Hogwarts. She had never been one to stay in one place for long. The world was vast, filled with wonders waiting to be discovered, and Luna wanted to see them all. She travelled across continents, searching for magical creatures that no one believed existed, and sometimes she found them. Her name became legendary among magizoologists. She documented species that had been long forgotten, encountered creatures even Newt Scamander had only theorized about. She wrote books filled with strange and beautiful illustrations, detailing her adventures, her discoveries, her endless curiosity about the world. She never lost her dreaminess, never stopped believing in the impossible, but Luna also found love in an unexpected place. Rolf Scamander, grandson of the famous Newt Scamander, had initially met Luna by accident during an expedition. At first, he hadn't known what to make of her. She was unlike anyone he had ever met, ethereal, whimsical, full of strange stories and unshakable beliefs. But as he travelled with her, he saw the depth beneath her oddities. He saw her wisdom, her resilience, her quiet bravery. He fell in love with her not despite her eccentricities, but because of them. Their wedding was unlike any other. Luna refused a traditional ceremony, instead opting for a celebration in the middle of an enchanted forest, surrounded by the very creatures she had spent her life studying. It was a night of glowing lights, laughter, and quiet magic that lingered in the air long after the last guests had left. Together, Luna and Rolf continued their adventures, exploring the world side by side. They had twin sons who inherited their mother's curiosity and their father's love for magical creatures. Luna told them stories of the Thestrals, the Nargles, the crumple-horned Snorkax, creatures both real and imagined, because to Luna there was little difference between the two. She never let the world dull her wonder. Even in old age, Luna Lovegood remained a mystery to those who met her. She would wander through Diagon Alley, still wearing radish earrings, still carrying herself with the same airy grace she always had. She would speak of things no one else understood, yet those who listened closely would find themselves entranced by her words. 'Cause Luna was more than just strange. She was someone who had seen darkness and refused to be consumed by it. Someone who had suffered loss but still chose kindness. Someone who lived in a world of her own but somehow made that world feel just a little more magical for everyone else. Even long after she was gone, those who knew her would sometimes feel a soft breeze, hear a faint whisper in the trees, catch a glimpse of something unusual out of the corner of their eye, and they would smile, because somewhere, somehow,